Alright, hello. This is a bit of an impromptu video. I was just prepping for my regular sortie shenanigans when the red text popped and told me that Hydroid has received a rework. And I thought the rework was coming with Prime, but it seems they've dropped it before the Prime this time, which is fine. But I'm just going to fiddle around with it and see what they've changed. So I'm just going with 100% on everything except efficiency, just to keep it simple. I've got the changes table on my second screen, which is here. I'll probably put a link in the description for that as well. I haven't read them yet, but I'm just going to go through them in this video and test everything that it's telling me. As you all know, he's needed some love for quite a while. So it says his base shield and armor has received a buff, so shield is 375 from 345. Just open that up again. So 650 to 1200 with that on. That's with Prime Vigor as well. Let's check with that. So 925, same as Oberon's health. Still pretty good. Put back in, and he got an armor buff from 65 to 200. So that's a serious buff. It's good. Tempest Barrage can be cast while in Undertow and will now hit enemies submerged in Undertow. We'll bring in 5 of them. So pull them in. You can see the damage numbers coming up. Although Undertow does damage as well, so I'm not sure which numbers are coming from what. If I put the Corroding Barrage augment on, you'll be able to see the armor getting stripped. To be able to tell the difference between the two. Also, that is going up. Every tick is doing 20 or 30 more damage. And I thought Undertow's damage was finisher damage. Let's not lift them up. So Undertow, Tempest Barrage. Well, that's not stripping their armor. Did I put the wrong augment in? No. So the augment doesn't strip armor when they're under, but it will still hit them. The ability will still hit them. You can clearly cast it inside, but it's still got a very, very short duration. What else have we got? Tempest Barrage can now be charged for longer duration and more damage. Oh wow. So you can see that effect down the bottom there. Actually quite a... that doubled the duration, so we'll just let that expire and we'll do it again. So I'm going to charge it until it auto casts. So I just held it, then it eventually casts when it hits the cap of its charge time. So that lasted for 10 seconds exactly. Which is I think double what it is usually. So I just tapped it there, and I got just over 5.2 seconds, so it's good. Although I always find myself being very mobile when I'm using that, so I'm not sure, unless you can charge it while moving, it's just a bit awkward. And it seems you can't start charging it again until those raindrops have started hitting the ground. So I was charging it, and then it was casting, and then I was immediately trying to do it again, and it still won't work until the first ones have touched down. It was a little bit clunky, because if you just tap it, there is still a tiny delay. Maybe the delay has been doubled for the charge. I don't know if that's intentional or not. Alright, so Tidal Surge is your 2. Says can be used to move around without cancelling Undertow. Note that Tidal Surge speed and hence distance is halved when in Undertow. pretty cool. I'm pretty sure Tidal Surge is affected by range mods as well. So let's just go and max our range and see how much of a difference that makes. Don't need that, don't need that. Not enough room for that. Doesn't matter. I'm going to try and optimize that at the moment. We saw how far we moved before. No, so that didn't really affect that. The duration says, sorry, the range says 14.1. Let's check it when we're not in under 2. Okay. Pull them off again and see if it made any difference. Doesn't really feel like it. Though it says it did. Definitely doesn't feel like it. And you can move just by, I'm holding W at the moment. Clearly it's extremely slow, but you can move. I'm pretty sure, I'm positive actually, that if you moved more than a few feet like this before, the ability would just get cancelled. I always found myself accidentally doing that. Tidal Surge will now pull enemies along for the ride, and it can be interrupted at any point by casting Undertow to go into your puddle, sinking enemies being pulled along. Yeah, so let's try those out. Spawn those 5 in again. It's saying it can be cancelled, which it clearly can. And it pulls people along for the ride. Interesting. And you can just catch them all. It's pretty cool. I love that you can just throw these guys now. Oh, I didn't throw just there. I like all these little synergies that they've got now. Being able to cast while under here definitely makes sense. Being able to move makes sense. I want to see what happens if I've got enemies in Undertow and I move and then pop out again. Do they come with me? So they're in the water here. No, it just lets them go immediately. I wonder if that'll strip armor while I'm in the puddle and I cast out of the puddle. Like cast it on enemies that aren't in the puddle. Because it wasn't stripping their armor when they were also submerged. But if they're not and I'm just invulnerable. Yeah, so it's still working as normal. You can see their armor goes red in a sec. So that's all for Tidal Surge. Yep. Undertow. Hydroid can pull enemies into Undertow by aiming and clicking on them. What? Just kill the rest of those off. Holy shit. That's fucking awesome. I suppose you should test it without range first. Let's just pause their AI. It's a thing we can do now. Spawn fresh ones to get them in the middle of that open area. So if I'm back here... Alright, out of range. You see how close we have to be. Then I'll go and put some range mods on and see what kind of difference that makes. You can see I'm pretty much at the sweet spot. Get back in my puddle. A little bit further, and it will come in. It's really cool. Really cool. And it does it at about the same speed as you can click. So as fast as you can target enemies, you can yank them straight into that puddle. So we'll chuck our range mods back on and see what that does. So we're at 235%, which isn't technically capped, but it's good enough. I keep forgetting that they don't die off when you step up there. The puddle is definitely larger, which has always been the case. We'll see if we can... we couldn't reach them from here before. It's the wrong ability. Yes, I can reach them now. There's some pretty serious distance. We put a waypoint. So he's 33 meters away. Yeah, I really like that. It's a very nice little quality of life addition. Kill them, respawn them. Undertow can be cast while in the air. That seems a little odd. Reminds me of the gel from Portal. I wonder if you can cancel as well. You can. I assume you can't jump in it. No, so jumping just pulls you straight back out. Jump and roll will break Undertow. Right, so that's what I was just doing. So you can roll out of it. And just tapping jump will bring you out. If you try to bullet jump out, it just does a regular jump as well. I think that's fine, that's pretty cool. If you want to move, you can just use Tidal Surge to do it. It'd be cool if you could, like, instead of dragging enemies in, you could like whip yourself along like Spider-Man. Might be a little extreme, I suppose. So Hydroid can now move while in Undertow at the expense of energy. Yeah. I think I've still got capped efficiency. But you can see in the bottom right it is ticking down. Similar rate, oh, even faster than Prowl on Elvira, I think. Meh. Submerged enemies in Undertow receive damage per second, increasing every second they are submerged. I'm gonna kill off 4 of these and we'll just summon 1. I'll just watch that number tick up. That's 29, 49, 69, 79. It's gone up 10. Now, I always thought this was finisher damage. I don't know if it still is. I'm not sure if that's been changed. But this guy's level 150 and you can see he's definitely taken some damage. Do I have my armor stripping on? No. So it doesn't matter too much. I just throw some strength mods on, see if that ticks up quicker. It also was with overextended. That'll do. Pretty unlikely to ever build him higher than that. (106 to 160). So the percentage obviously goes up faster the more strength you've got, as you'd expect. You can see he's taken some solid damage from that. Solid being relative compared to what he used to be able to do. Obviously it's still very slow, but it's something. Especially now that he can just yank enemies in. That said invalid target when they were getting up. That also costs energy, I think. So you can see how fast it's going down. And yeah, it took an extra 5-ish, and I put him in. Took 4 that time. I think I've got about 130% efficiency as well. 135 with Blind Rage. 120, no, that's not maxed. Neither of those are maxed. Interesting. Just looking at the sheet again. Enemies that die will be released from Undertow instead of dragging their dead bodies along for the ride. I don't think that really needs testing, but you can understand. I assume... I wonder if it shows it. Undertow... Oh, there's the grab energy, that's what it costs to pull guys in. That's the range you've got on it, which is good. Damage increase as well. It doesn't tell you how many enemies you can have submerged at once, but I assume there will be a cap, otherwise that'd be very easy to abuse. There'll be a cap, and like just dropping those dead bodies out when they do die saves that cap, so you can just pull more in. So that's a good change, definitely makes sense. Yeah, I don't think I'll bother testing it. Get rid of that just to bring them down to 100 again. So that's all Undertow's got. And Tentacle Swarm, hold on to your ships. Tentacle Swarm has received a new look straight from the depths of the sea. Can you summon the Kraken? Alright. Holy shit. It's animated, it's moving around. It's terrifying. Doesn't stay there forever. Can't see him under the map. You can a little bit. Just his head. That's really cool. Although, has it pointed the same way every time? So it's pointing that way, whatever way that way is. But then if I face another way and cast it, it's still facing that way. You think that the orientation would sort of coincide with your either look direction or just the Warframe. But clearly not. Not sure if that's intended or not. But that's really cool. Big fan of that. Tentacle Swarm can be charged to get more tentacles over a larger area for more energy. So if we pass there, we've got like 7 or 8 tentacles. Does it tell us in here? Number of tentacles is 10, apparently. It doesn't look like 10. Oh, there's a few in that one spot. And then if I cast... I suppose I'll just cast there again, but we'll charge it all the way out. And it looks like there's about 15 there. There's definitely more, and it's definitely in a much larger area. Like if I just cast again and you pay attention to the area, they're all very centralized around the Kraken head there. But if I charge and release again, which takes far longer, that's more than double the diameter. That's huge. Yeah, there's like between 15 and 20, so there's a very large increase. I'm not sure if the duration went up. Let's just test that too. No, so it's 20 seconds regardless of how long you charge it. So very cool. And you can charge it whilst parkouring. You have to hold down the 4, which still feels very awkward. Not something I'll be doing very often, I don't think. It said the damage went up as well. Did it? Can be charged for more tentacles over a larger area. So it doesn't say there's more damage, but... Damage is 200. Do we have guys? That threw him a bit, didn't it? So it's hitting him for 201. We'll charge it and hit him again. No, so the damage stays the same. There's definitely more, definitely larger area. Alright, it also says the Hydroid tentacles will now seek out nearby enemies and attempt to slam on top of them rather than just always flailing randomly. That's awkward wording. I'm hoping they hit something. So, as that said, they will... Maybe I shouldn't charge that, because they still spawn underneath the enemy and hit them. Let's spawn a group of them. So we'll kill that off, unpause that. Spawn all of them, and we'll put that at 20 so that it will kill them, and we'll see if it's targeting the others properly. Really? Spawn them again. We'll just cast a small one on top of this group, and then I'll stand near it so it's pathing all the other guys towards me. Just trying to keep them near it but not in it. You can see they're definitely trying to hit them. Right out. Like you can see when they get close, it's reaching over in this direction to try and get them. The aim's clearly not that good. It doesn't track them like they target when they're all the way up and they swing down, but if the enemy's moved before they hit the ground, they don't track that. Which is fine, but at least they're actually reaching for them in a controlled manner now. Also there's a small effect where they come out as well. I feel like that's better textured than it was before. Clearly that looks awesome. And it's still looking that way. I don't know if that's a symptom of the simulacrum or if it will do that everywhere. Or if it's not working as intended, I don't know. Not a big deal really. So Tentacle Swarm will protrude from Hydroid's undertow if active when cast. So if I'm in here, and if I move, no, it doesn't come with me. That's a shame. That would be amazing if that moved with me. I'm just moving without sliding, but it's still not coming with me. But it's cool that regardless of where you're looking, it spawns on you. Like if I'm aiming there and I hit it, they'll appear all over that. But if I'm in undertow and I hit it, they still appear on me. Which I suppose makes sense because let's go spawn a few more. I'll just spawn 8 of them. Well, no, I suppose I'll spawn all of them. I'll max that out again. Getting wrecked over there. So if we're in our puddle, just let that expire. In our puddle, we can pull all the enemies in. They're all pathing here anyway, but if they won't, still pull them all in. There's quite an enemy cap. I've got like 19 of them in here, minus the guy over there. Then if you cast it, and then come out of it, all of those enemies are still held in stasis, which is pretty useful. I wonder if... can I pull them off the tentacles again? I think yes, if they slam it onto me. Can I pull them out of the tentacles? No. Seems like they just threw them all... it was when the ability expired. They all got thrown away. So a lot of interesting synergy between the abilities. Nothing's been changed drastically. Some more survivability. And I think everything they've done is good. Definitely a lot less clunky. Everything has a lot of synergy. That's unrelated. A lot of cool things. I'll definitely be trying those out in a sortie video in the near future. I think I've already used Hydroid for the grenade defense, so I can't do it today. Yeah, very cool. I would recommend giving him another go if he wasn't one of your favourites, for sure. I don't know... well, they said here as well. Hydroid Revisited, please use this thread to give us your feedback. Closely monitoring your practical feedback, so clearly it's going to be Well, it may be something like the Oberon thing again, where they have to do a few revisions. I think Oberon got 2 or 3 before they were happy with him, or before the community was happy with him, so Hydroid will probably get the same. People are still probably going to scream for buffs, because he's not really stronger in any way. He's got a lot more utility, and his abilities are far better to use, but I think people will still be calling for like damage buffs and stuff, so I don't know if DE will actually do anything like that. They may or may not. But I think everything they've done is definitely an improvement. I don't know if I'd go further or not. Maybe a little bit, but if they don't, I'm still happy with it. I think a lot of that stuff's really cool. So yeah, give him another go if you haven't.